and say, hey guys, thanks for the patience as we work through a little technical navigation for the beginning of this call, but that is not going to say that this isn't worth the wait, because this guy is one of the most powerful leaders I know in real estate. And when I say that, I mean that humbly, because I have the opportunity to coach top agents, top teams, and top companies across the country. And I'm super excited to have Brent Gove on. As I listen to his story and learn more and more about him, I go, what the heck? And how do we replicate, if we want, right? But how do we replicate or have a part of what Brent does? So with all of that said, I want to share with you the first time I met Brent. So I was asked to go to a live event in Charlotte, North Carolina, which is where I'm calling from right now. And Brent can tell you where he's calling from in a moment. But I went to a live event and I was very interested in the idea, makes sense. I get it. Numbers make sense. There's a lot of positive things about it. But when I came out of that meeting, as a matter of fact, I was so blown away and so electrified by him just being so authentic. And that was, I think, what really impacted me. And it was incredibly impactful. And then I made that decision that day to go and join EXP. That was just a thing I didn't think I was going to do. And I walked out of there. So we're going to talk a little bit. We want to get some great energy from Brent. But Brent, can you give us a little bit? I think probably many people on this call know you, maybe not everybody. But as a pioneer in the EXP, I'll call it a movement, because I really think it's a movement across the country, across the world, across the globe. How did you get your start in not just real estate, and you could please tell us about that, but how did you get your start when you moved over to EXP? And I think the biggest question I would ask, are you just a natural born recruiter?
All right. Well, first of all, Victor, great to be here, man. It's an honor to be with you here on your Facebook Live and talking to your nation, what do you call it? You have a name for this, right?
We'll all impact worldwide.
Impact worldwide. I like it. So right. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Absolutely.
And, where I got my start, when you said that, I thought you were going to go somewhere else. So I'm going to go where I thought you were going to go. Where did I start to really learn about business and success? And it all started when I was 19, washing dishes at college. And my dad gave me these Sony Walkman. Remember Guardian of the Galaxy, when the crisp, whatever, and he's got the headset on, he's dancing through the Guardian of the Galaxy one, a Sony Walkman. So I had my Sony Walkman. It was 1985, and I'm listening to Zig Ziglar tapes. And all the other dish guys in the dish room were making fun of me because I had some cult thing, Zig Ziglar, who's that? And they all made fun of me. There's even politics and all that in the dish room. But I was like, this is so great. They're paying me minimum wage to wash dishes and listen to Zig Ziglar. So that's where I first kind of become aware of Og Mandino, the greatest salesman that ever lived, Dennis Waitley, Zig Ziglar, Jim Rome, Tony Robbins. And I started learning that, it matters how you think, and it matters about your attitude. We've all been around people who enter the room and storm clouds follow, and you don't want to be that person. And so you want to come in and lift the room with with who you are. And you're a lover, not a fighter. I mean, you're willing to fight, but you're mainly a lover. When you need to fight, you'll fight, and you're building people up, not tearing them down. But how I got my start, you called me a pioneer. We're all pioneers. We are in we haven't even hit the early adopter stage. We're not even early adopters. We're still in the innovative stage. There's 56,000 EXP agents. We add 1,000 every week. And it takes 10% to hit the tipping point, which is in the early adopting stage. And that would be, there's 2 million agents and brokers throughout the US and Canada, 2 million. We have just over 2.1%. So we are still in the early adoption stage. When you get closer to 2.5%, then you hit innovator stage. Then you get early adopter. At 10%, which is 200,000 agents, will hit the tipping point, and this business is going to explode. So truth is, we're all pioneers, Victor. Here's where we're going to be in 10 years. We're going to have 1 million agents in 100 countries in the next 10 years. We're already in 14. We'll be in 19 countries by the end of the year. within 9 more years, we'll be in 100 countries and we're going to have 1 million agents. So we at 56,000, everyone watching this, we are the pioneers of EXP. But to answer your question, how I got my start was one day I was at my office at Keller Williams, my corner office. I was a team leader. I get a call from a woman who claims to have met me for 30 seconds in a lobby at a Haas Pratt seminar. I don't know if you know Haas Pratt. And I was there. It was Haas Pratt's first seminar ever. And basically, he asked me to be a speaker. And she said she heard me speak. She was so impressed with me. And she said, I only met you for like 30 seconds in the lobby, Plano, Marriott, Texas. I'm like, yeah, I was there. And she goes, do you remember me? And I'm like, I don't. And that was Sheila Fairgeron. And I didn't even remember her. She was basically a stranger to me. But she asked me to check out EXP, give her my opinion. And I had 18 agent team doing 100 million a year in California. We had 6 listing specialists, 12 buyer specialists. I am like fully into Keller Williams. I'm like all about Keller Williams. I will retire at Keller Williams, greatest company on the planet. And I'm like, sure, I'll give you my opinion. EX, what? Terrible name for, I didn't say that. That was my first thought. I didn't like the letters. I'm like, what's that? But everybody has HP, IBM, KW, CB, Coldwell Banker, C21. Everyone has these, but till you get to know them, I'm sure IBM sounded weird till it did, right? So that's how I got my start, and never looked back. I left Keller Williams within 2 weeks. I moved my $100 million producing team from Keller Williams into EXP, never looked back. And it's been life-changing. Best business decision I ever made in my life, times 100. It's not even, you can't even compare it.
Well, I appreciate you, and I agree with you that we're all pioneers, Brent. I thank you for including everybody on this call in that group, because I think you're absolutely right. But you were one of the first ones to make that change, one of the first ones to do something in a very large way. But I think one of the questions I think our audience would like, because I did a little poll, right, is you are at such a high level, right? And just in terms of what you're doing, how you're crushing it, how large your organization is. It's absolutely mind-boggling. It's amazing. And I know you've got several ways that you've shared with us how to do that. But I want to ask you this, because I want it to also be super relevant for people maybe that are kind of like, how do I really get started in this? Let me ask this question first. What do you think your struggles were in building your organization? Because there had to be some in there somewhere.
Sure. Yeah. When we started 4.5 years ago, like say you want to sign up, Victor, we'd say, okay, do not mention anything to Remax that you're leaving, or to Coldwell Banker or Century 21 or your independent broker. Don't say anything, because we got to have you do this paperwork, and then we got to kind of get you through the system, and it's going to take 3 weeks. So it would take 3 weeks. Sometimes it would take 4 weeks to onboard one agent. There were so many people wanting to do it. And so it was like getting off a cruise ship, and you turn the corner, you're in customs, and there's 1,200 people in front of you trying to go through customs, and there's 10, customs officers, and you get your passports out, but there's 1,200 people getting up in front of you, and you're like, we're going to be here for hours. This is going to suck. And so it really did suck. It was a drag. And sometimes people would let the cat out of the bag, and their broker would fire them, leave the office now. And it took 3 more weeks, and they couldn't do real estate for 3 weeks. It was so painful. Sometimes the state broker would quit. We were only in, 40 something states. Now we're in all, 50, and we're in Puerto Rico, where I live now. I live in the Caribbean. But here's the deal. It was just, they were building the spruce goose as it was flying. They're hiring, marketing people, hiring, onboarding people, hiring. So we had all these new people, and we grew from 1,200 to 56,000 in the last 4 years. It's been amazing. And we're going to end the year at like 90,000. I took my 18 agents. From 18 agents at the end of this year, I'll have 18,000. So anybody else watching this live, how many do you have? And how many did you have 4 years ago, 4.5 years ago? I had 18. And now I'm going to have 18,000 at the end of the year. Right now I have over 14,000. And then in my organization, there'll be about 30,000. Because those 18,000 are on my 7 levels. So we copied Keller Williams. They have a 7-level payout. We have a 7-level payout as well. Keller's been doing it for 25 years. Ours just actually, I enrolled 55 people at Keller Williams during my years. So I was making $700 a month. I enrolled 25 people in 5 months. I was making 25,000 a month. So 700 a month from 55 people, because it's profit sharing. You never know if the office is going to be profitable. And EXP, it's revenue share. It pays, and it pays well. And so to be able to enroll 25 people in a 5-month period, to be earning 25,000 a month every month. And then within like 8 months, it was 55,000 a month every month. And then within 4 months, it was over 100,000 a month every month. I just kept doubling and tripling and just growing. And that's why people make a lot of money in real estate, because there's a lot of money in real estate. So I don't know if I answered the question, but we had struggles, and it was EX what? It was a penny stock. We weren't on the NASDAQ. You couldn't sign people up. It was really difficult. I will end with this, Victor. It was like having gravel roads with potholes, and now they're all paved, and the on-ramps just got paved to the freeway. And that's where all you have seen this. We've paved the on-ramps, and the freeways are paved, and look out, baby. It's gonna be great.
Phenomenal, Brent. Thank you so much. And then I guess the follow-up question to that would be, what would be in terms of how you overcame that, right? You went from gravel road, potholes, maybe detour ramps, whatever, right? But how did you overcome that? What did you have to do? And I'm asking this from the standpoint of agents that are out there going, that sounds incredible. That sounds amazing, but I can never be like Brent. That's just too big. It's too far-fetched. I don't even see it. What would you say, how to overcome it? And when the top 3 things you would tell an agent to do every day?
Yeah, that's a great point. Well, I'd say the peak to peak principle comes in. If you'd have told me that within 5 years, you'll be earning $8 million a year to be your net income, $8 million a year within 5 years, I would not have believed it either. So what I would say, I think Mona's mic's hot, but basically, what I saw, here's what I saw. I had 18 to 28 listings. I had an 18 agent team. And so what I saw was I could probably tell 10 or 15 agents about EXP this year real comfortably. And then hopefully they'll tell some of their friends, and they'll tell some of their friends, like it had happened at Keller Williams. I had hundreds at Keller Williams from the 55 I told. And I told 55 about Keller because I just like the company. I told 100 about Remax over my 12 years because I liked the company. I told 25 about EXP in my first 5 months because I liked the company. And every time you tell someone, you get a stock award. So I earned 25 stock awards. At the end of the year, I'd done 48. So I got 48 stock awards. The more people you tell and you help build EXP, the more of a shareholder you become. And that turned into millions of dollars in stock, not counting the cash flow from revenue. But what I saw was not millions of dollars in stock. In fact, I did not like the stock. I didn't like the fact that it was a penny stock. We weren't publicly traded on the NASDAQ. The financial plan was like, it's super risky. So I did not like the stock. I like the revenue share. I thought I could tell 10 or 15 this year. And hopefully they'll tell some of their friends, and they'll be 80 to 100, and I'll earn 80,000 a year in rev share. That's what will happen. So if that's all you can see, maybe you can only see telling 5 to 10, then go do that. Then next year, do 5 to 10 more. The year after that, do 5 to 10 more, and you'll have 15 to 30, but they'll tell people, literally, you have 25 people, you'd be making a couple thousand a month. Maybe that makes your house payment. But the problem is, and there's a problem, Victor, those 25, the next year turn into 50. Now you're making 4,000 a month. And then the next year, those 50 turn into 100. Now you're making 8,000 a month. After 8 years, I was making 700 a month, not 800 a month within 3 years. But that's just a really slow growth. I think, like I said, by my 5th month, it was actually $27,000, not annually, but monthly. And you can budget on that. So you could see what you could see, go after what you could see, do what you could do. I did not see ending the year 5 years. In 5 years, you'll have 18,000 people in your 7 levels. And every time they sell a home, you're going to get paid 18,000 times a month. I did not see that. I didn't see getting paid 1,000 times a month. I had 18 agents on my team, and every time they sold homes, I got paid. So I could see getting paid 18 times a month. And if I did 4, 5, 6, 7 closings, I could maybe got paid 25 times a month. That's why people have teams. And then you maybe get a 40 or 50 agent team, plus you're getting paid if they sell 2 or 3 homes a month. Now you're getting paid 80 to 100 times a month. But I just have a bigger team. By the way, Keller Williams, all the agents profit share, Gary Keller revenue shares. He gets 3,000 per agent. It's not attached to profit sharing. You just go straight back to corporate. It's pure profit. He participates in revenue share. The agents get to do profit share. Interesting distinction. But go ahead. Did I answer the question for you?
I think so. So I think just to try to get it down to a tangible, digestible thing, like in terms of action steps people can take, I think that's probably where most people are at, right?
Okay.
So like step one,
that's what you were wanting me to say. Sorry.
That's what I'm trying to get at, my friend. Absolutely.
Right. Okay. So step one, make a list of names of people. That's the first thing I did. I made a list of people that I knew in real estate. I've been doing it for 20 years. People you've done transactions with, people you knew from top producer panels, or maybe from Women's Council of Realtors, and had a lot of women in my business. Kathy Maurer went on to become the president of the Women's Council of Realtors for California. You darn straight I joined. They let men join. I'm a proud member of the Women's Council of Realtors. I go to their events. There's lots of men there. I'm a member of NAHREP, which is the National Association of Hispanic Realtors. I'm not Hispanic, but I'm a member of NAHREP. I was a member of ARIA, which is the Asian Association of Realtors. I'm not Asian either, but I join everything. I'm like a mutt, but I would go to their events and learn and grow. So make a list of names of people. And if you're not, go join some of those things. Go to Brian Buffini, go to Mike Ferry, go to Craig Proctor, go to different organizations, YLOPO and different groups that Haas Pratt. There's so much out there to learn from. And I think there's one Wealth something, there's, what's that one? Anyways, I forget, but there's some big meet people. And so make a list. And then number two, I just started calling them. I set aside one day a week. I was very busy. Everyone thinks all you did was recruit. All I did was go on listing appointments. I was trained assassin. I was trained to go on listing appointments. And my goal was to go on at least one every day, sometimes 2 a day, sometimes 3 a day. You go on listing appointments every day, 30 listing appointments the next 30 days, and you close 50% of them, you get 15 listings. You're gonna make a lot of money, Jose. And you do that month after month. That is what I did. And so that was priority number one. This EXP thing, I like it. I want it to work. So I gave it 1 day a week, Fridays from 2 to 5. And I made outbound calls to my friends, not cold calling. Called people I'd done transaction with that knew me. I knew them. I liked them. They had good energy. If they were a cranky pants agent, we all know agents that are cranky. I hate people. So sick of agents. I didn't call those people. I call agents that love people, that love agents. I love people. I love agents. I don't hate people. I've met agents that I can't stand real estate agents. I can't stand my customers. I'm like, oh my gosh, you're in real estate? I did not call those people. They have bad juju, bad energy. I call people with good energy that were, I liked being around them. They liked being, and I called them and I started sharing it with them. And I set a goal to share it every day. I met someone for a coffee on Monday at 10, met someone for lunch on Tuesday at noon. Met somebody in the afternoon on Wednesday at 4. It wasn't that hard, and I look forward to it all day. It was something I look forward to because that was the light at the end of the tunnel, that a beginning, a middle, and end. Like sponsoring 25 people to EXP will change your life forever, but you want to do it in a condensed period of time, in like a 5-month period of time. You don't want to sponsor 25 in 5 years. It'll work, but not like what happened to me. If you do 25 in a condensed period of time, like 5 months, like what I did, it's like taking a can of Coca-Cola and go whoosh, and then popping the top, and it creates this chemical reaction. It's all about momentum. And so there's a distinction for you. You think, well, that's all I could do right now is 5 a year. Okay, next year, maybe you could do 10 a year. Next year, you do 15, you kind of get better. I got better at real estate as the years went on. You'll get better at building a real estate sales organization. I will help you. Victor will help you. Other people will help you. You'll get better. I love the saying, Victor, the biggest room in the world's the room for improvement. And so make your list, set aside a day. I set aside Fridays from 2 to 5, 3 hours, and I was not allowed to talk to buyers and sellers. I'd done that for 2 decades. And I called 3 to 5 agents and had an open, honest dialogue about their future, about EXP. I asked them if they'd check it out. Some said yes, some said no. The ones who said yes, I met with them and I physically watched it with them. That's the distinction I want to make today. I did not send and go, what do you think? Send and go, what do you think? I watched it with them. If you are having them watch it, well, it's COVID-19. Watch it with them. Wear a mask, wear a spacesuit. I don't care what you got to do. Watch it with them. That is the distinction that I did. And if you watch it with them, I noticed about a 78% success rate. If you send it to them and then you try to follow up and send and chase, it's like drops to like 10 or 20%. So I think people miss that distinction. I did not send it to anyone. I was set, but well, it's kind of hard to set up. I'm busy. I was busy too, but I made it happen. And actually, once you kind of get in the rhythm of it, it was fun. I couldn't wait to meet Victor Vaca for lunch on Tuesday. And I couldn't wait to meet Jay Kender for dinner on Wednesday. And I couldn't wait to meet Curtis Johnson at 9 a.m. or AJ, and I had these people. Now these are all big stars, but back then it's just people I look forward to. And there were many more. I showed it to probably 30 people a month, EXP, and 5 would sign up. What about the other 25? I don't know. What about them? They didn't. Well, why not? I don't know. I just focused on the 5 who did. Next month, I showed it to 30 people. One a day, 30 people, 5 signed up. And the next month, 5 signed up. And 5 months later, I signed up 25. Why didn't it? I don't know why they didn't. Why did I see it, Victor? It made sense to me. And I was okay with failure. I wanted to succeed, but I went worst case. Am I buying a franchise? Am I spending $50,000 or $100,000 and then signing a 10-year lease on a building or a 5-year lease and then doing all the TIs and investing a couple hundred, $250,000? No, it's $149 to join EXP. If I don't like it in a month or two, I'll go back to Keller Williams. If you don't like EXP in a month or two, you can go back to Coldwell Banker, go back to Sotheby's. Except when you go back, you say, I'm not sure. And they go, look, we'll give you 100% for a year. I don't know. And a free office and leads. Okay. So worst case scenario, when you go back, you'll be at 100% for a year. You'll get a free office and you'll get leads. If you just kind of hold out, they will love to say, look, Brent didn't make it. Don't waste your time with EXP. And they don't know that Brent's sitting in the corner office for free for a year at 100% split for a year. And they're giving me some office leads quietly that they get when they call the front desk. They're sliding me leads because they cut a deal. That's what will happen to you. If you try, that's if you fail at EXP, that's your future. 100% split for a year, maybe 2. I can guarantee you, I can call Keller Williams and get 100% for 2 years, a free office for 2 years and leads, guarantee it. Now I sell more, they want me back worse. I get that, but I see that all the time. So that is the step 1, make a list. Step 2, set aside time to call people religiously. Don't miss. I never miss. And step 3, watch it with them in their presence, belly button to belly button, eyeball to eyeball, watch it with them, bring lunch, bring dinner, bring coffee, make it fun. EXP, make it. I show up at the Thai food. I show up at the pizza. I show up with the, breakfast burritos and coffee and orange juice, or I will just meet for coffee. Good. What do you like in your coffee? I just coffee. Oh, 1 cream. You got it. 1 cream, 1 sugar coming up. I made it fun. We sit there and I press play. I didn't explain it to him. I press play. The model explain.com. Press play, sit back, eat your burrito, drink your coffee. And boom, it's over. It's doing the numbers. It's the numbers. Success is a math problem. The math is 1 a day, brings rev share your way. That's corny. I just made it up and I'll never say it again, but it works. Okay. So there you go. There's my 3 steps for you.
Perfect. No, that's excellent. And I think what I'm hearing from you too, Brent, and I think thinking about it through the audience's eyes, as I talk to people all over the country every day, just like you do, you're not really going into it. It doesn't sound like it anyway. You're not actually going into it with the intention of getting something from someone. You're going into it to share something with someone. Would that be accurate?
I was always asking for their opinion. Victor, I'd love your opinion. That's what Sheila had said to me. I'm like, well, sure, I'll give you my opinion. She didn't ask me to leave Keller Williams and go to EXP. I would have said no. Keller Williams is the greatest company on the planet. Are you kidding me? Absolutely. There's not a company that can touch Keller Williams. Kudos to Keller Williams for making me feel that way until I saw a company that blew Keller Williams off the map. I mean, all the stars from RE/MAX and Keller Williams are going to EXP. Coldwell Banker, Sotheby's. We're going to have 1 million agents. We're going to do this. We'll be the largest real estate company in the next 18 months. Hands down, the largest real estate company in the world in 18 months. We are agent owned. And so it's a big deal, but yes. So I think I almost forgot your distinction you were making, but hopefully I hit on it.
Giving versus getting.
Yeah. So I wanted their opinion. And I'd say stuff like, Victor, I want to know if you think this is a relevant model for the north part of Charlotte. I'm down in South Charlotte. You're in North Charlotte. I want to know, stay at Coldwell Banker, Victor. Stay at Keller Williams, Victor. Stay there for 20 years. I respect you. I want you to look at this. I kind of want you to tear it apart. I want to meet you for coffee. I want you to show me what I'm missing, because I'm going to put a lot of energy into this year and I don't want to make a mistake. And I have so much respect for you and what you've done at Century 21. And I only call people I had respect for. There are people I don't have respect for. I didn't call those people. So I wasn't lying. I call people I liked. I respect you. I respect what you've done. I love your opinion. Stay at Remax, but give me your, they go, sure, it couldn't hurt. Hear it all the time. And they'd watch and they just, it was crazy. And I only did it. I mean, it's the beginning. You only have to do it once. Those 25 people I sponsored in 5 months have led me to 18,000 and 30,000 in my organization. And they'll lead me to, and it just goes, it gets bigger and bigger. But it just started with, can you do 10? Can you do 5? Do peak to peak. And then I did more. I thought I could do 10 to 15. I ended up doing 10 in 12 weeks. And then 12 weeks later, I did 10 more. And then 12 weeks later, I did 10 more. And 12 weeks later, it was just easier than I thought. Agents are looking for something. And so if you're out there watching this and you're watching this right now and you go, I don't want to be a recruiter. That's like a teenage child that says, I don't want to clean my room. I don't want to take out the trash. So what? Well, it's like saying, well, my manager says it's hard. It's hard. That's like saying it's hard to be a listing agent. You can't be a listing agent. No, you, my dear sir, ma'am, can be a listing agent if you decide you're going to be a listing agent. You study it and you shadow people and you see what the successful people are doing and you emulate and copy them and you put in the hard work. You, my friend, will be a listing agent. Like, well, why do I want to be a recruiter? Why don't you ask Coldwell Banker? Because their grandchildren's children are benefiting because they were recruiters. They're the only people we know. Keller and Williams, they decided in the 80s, Gary Keller and Dave Williams, to recruit. And how's that worked out for them? Pretty good. How about Berkshire Hathaway? How about Sotheby's? How about Christie's Real Estate and Auction House? These are all people's last names. You know who we know who's done really well? The recruiters. Dave Liniger used to show property and take listings. Yes, the heck with that. I'm going to recruit. And he built Remax. Well, can I really do that? Maybe you can't, but maybe with Victor's help and my help, you could. See, I didn't do this alone. I had Sheila, I had Rob Flick, and Gene Frederick. Well, you had them. Yeah, they'll help you. Every one of those people will get on the phone with you. I don't care who you are. We grow this together. This is agent-led, agent-owned. I'm doing an event in August. I have 6,000 people coming to the event. It's just crazy. It's not even a corporate event. It's just a little event I'm throwing together with Gene. 6,000 people are coming. Tony Robbins is coming. It is an absolute movement. Go ahead.
No, I mean, no, that's incredible. I mean, and I do want you to have a minute to talk about that because I think what I heard in Cabo, I think you said at big events, people make big decisions.
Yeah.
And how to make the events that you're hosting big rocks in their business. Like it's a couple a year, but they're so impactful, right? And then the decision is made because once they go and see it and listen to the stories, because everybody loves a story, right? And they go and listen to the stories, they go, what the heck am I doing? And it's kind of like if you don't have a way to make money while you're sleeping, you're going to work until you're dead.
Yeah.
Kind of thing, right? And so I hear what, reading between the lines on some of this, here's what I would ask. So I think with the people that already have established businesses, and I want to be, I know we can't talk about this forever because I could stay on the phone with you for a long time. Let's put it that way. And I think everybody would love to hear. And I know your resources are on brentgove.com, right? There's tremendous amount of stuff there, guys. So if you haven't been there, that is absolutely one of the top places to go to grow. But let me ask this question. If you're newer in the business, right? Because if we have a big SOI, that makes a lot of sense. We're going to call our cross-sale agents, our friends, right? Et cetera. What if you're newer in the business? Do you have a piece of advice or a tip or a trick for anybody to build up?
It's really the same. I called a friend of mine, didn't even have a real estate license, and said, hey, Vincent, I want you to take a look at this new real estate company I'm involved with. He's, buddy, I'm not in real estate. I have no interest in real estate. I know, but you got a great attitude. You've always been successful. And I get a sense you're ready for the next. He was in his mid 50s. And I said, just look at this. We're friends. Will you do it for me? He goes, fine, I'll look at it for you, but I'm not interested in real estate. He watched themodelexplained.com. By the way, if you're out there and you're like, what are they talking about? What is this? It's called, you can www, it's a website, themodelexplained.com, themodelexplained.com. Once you watch it, I want you to call Victor Vaca. There's his name right there. Take a picture of the screen, reach out to Victor and say, tell me more about EXP. But this will pretty much In fact, I uploaded for everyone watching this. The new one's up as of 3 hours ago. It's been edited. It's up. It's brand new. No one's ever seen it. It's up at themodelexplain.com. So watch that. But so shoot, I lost my train of thought with that. Where was I going, Victor? I got watch the model explained.
We were talking about the resources and where people could go to learn more about this and how to really get themselves started. Because I think, and
for new people.
Right, for new people, exactly.
That's where Vincent didn't even have a license. Is that pretty new?
Yeah, I mean,
he watched it for me, themodelexplain.com, and then when it came time to ask questions, right? You know what he said to me? Here's his question: can I get a real estate license? I go, sure, no one's stopping you. He goes, do you know how many agents? I'm 55 years old. Do you know how many real estate agents I know and brokers? I go, I don't know how many. He goes, lots, dozens. And he goes, I'm going to call them, and I'm going to enroll them for EXP. Do I have to sell real estate? I go, no, most of our agents, by the way, people say, well, if everybody's recruiting, who's going to sell the real estate? The problem is the opposite. People are so busy selling real estate to pay their mortgages, to pay their rent, to pay their car payments, to keep their kids in private school. They're so busy selling, they don't recruit. Everyone thinks EXP is a recruiting company. Are you kidding me? 80% of the agents just sell. The other 20% sell like crazy and recruit. Because of the 20% everyone thinks we're a recruiting company. The truth is, people absolutely do not recruit enough. I mean, most people don't even do anything. They don't recruit. So the problem is the opposite. So he, knowing nothing about real estate, being new, but he's in his 50s, he knows real estate. He enrolled 27 agents and or broker associates, and now has hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of agents and brokers throughout San Francisco and San Jose, the San Francisco, San Jose Bay Area. Every home they sell is 1.2 billion a year. I think he's knocking down literally, if 100 of them sell $1 million house, he's doing 100 million a month. And out of the 300, I bet you 100 of them do every single month. So he'll probably do this year, it's his third year, 1.2 billion in sales. Now you coach a lot of superstars, right? How many of them do $1 billion in sales, Victor? How many, honestly?
I'm sorry, what was that? How many do what?
How many teams do $1 billion in sales?
$1 billion?
$1 billion.
None.
So Vincent, my friend, got an EXP 3.5 years ago, knows nothing about listing homes, has zero knowledge about SEO, about social media, about Facebook marketing, about addendums and counteroffers and jumbo loans and listing purchase agreements. He knows nothing, but he knows agents. And he sponsored 27 agents who know everything. And then they told their friends who told their friends, turn into hundreds. And that group of 300, they probably do 100 million a month. Now that's because they're in San Francisco. Every home's 1.3 million. A lot of them are 2, 3, 4, 5. He probably does 150 million a month. I bet you this year he'll do $1.8 billion his third year. And he knows nothing about real estate. The problem with you guys watching this Facebook Live is you're too much of an operator. You're still going on listing appointments. You're still involved in the transaction. You're not stepping back and growing it from that 30,000 foot perspective. It's like Gary Keller does, like Dave Lineker does, like Coldwell Banker did. You got to quit being an operator so involved in the business. So because he knows nothing, he's not an operator. And he'll do $1.8 billion in sales his third year. But guess what? Next year, he'll probably do 4 billion because it just keeps, it was just him. And there was him in 50, then him in 100, then him in 200. Now it's him in 300. Next year it'll be him in 700 or 800. And if you understand the concept, he's getting paid 700 and 800 times a month. If they all sell a home and he gets a little bit of each one, not a year, 700, 800 times a month. No, that's next year. This year, it's poor guy only gets paid 300 times a month. And I don't even know how you could live on getting paid 300 times a month. If you start to understand the concept of profit share and revenue share, but profit shares a little bit, revenue shares through the roof.
Absolutely right. And I think that makes all the sense in the world. And what I'm hearing from you is that we have to make a decision, first of all. And there's the short game and the long game. The short game is selling real estate. You got to put foot on the table, invest in your investments. Make sure you don't have any credit card debt, right? Be smart, have investment properties, all of that. That's the short game. But then the long-term game is, where are we going with that, right? And that long-term game does become revenue share. One of the biggest things I hear, Brent, and I don't want to get off on like my clients, but I'll just say this, they're very successful. I mean, probably the average client sells maybe, I don't know, 75 homes or more a year. And some people sell
Very
7
good.
homes a year, something like
Wow.
that, right?
Very good.
So that's sort of my wheelhouse in terms of helping people build organizations. But what I ask, and I got to be careful as a coach, right? I have to be brand agnostic. I'm not running around telling everybody about EXP because they might be at a different place. But one of the things that is always constant and always common is, what's the exit strategy? Like, do you really want to work till you're 75 years old? Right? I mean, and they're doing well financially, like it's fine, but they have a job. They are working so hard, and they're working 7 days a week all the time. So what I'm hearing from you is you have to make a decision to say, hey, I have to understand the opportunity first before I even really understand how to present it. And then you're saying go to the modelexplain.com, which I think is another incredibly important part, because then they have to wrap their mind around it. Then we have to watch it with people that we care about, that we want to be in business with, people that you trust, like, and respect.
Well said.
Right?
Nailed it.
Right. And I think just, kind of for the audience, again, I think you just have to start with a small decision to say, I'm going to contact my friends, or I might even contact people that are my friends that aren't even in real estate. And I want to share an opportunity with them. And then I want to share my business with them, and I want to be business partners with them. And then we can do something incredible together.
Absolutely.
From you?
You got it. I mean, you may have a friend who's a pharmaceutical sales rep and just hates his job, or maybe he's a general manager of a Nordstrom's and hates his job, or just ready for something different. You show them that, like, I'm going to get my license, I'm going to do this. And they're motivated. They're people, they have great energy, and they will go be like Vincent and sign up 27 people and have hundreds and hundreds. And that'll turn into, well, at a zero, it won't be 300, it'll be 3,000. Give me 2 or 3 years, he'll have 3,000. And it's going to happen. It's going to happen. So well said. By the way, you mentioned earlier resources at brentgove.com for sure, that we have like all kinds of agent attraction information and how to sell real estate there. But you can also, people like that binge watch Hulu or Netflix or, Pride and Prejudice or Titanic, and then watch Die Hard movies. They'll binge watch a bunch of Mel Gibson movies or whatever, right? Go to YouTube and type Brent Gove and binge watch my YouTube channel, because I have people like Victor on there. I have people like Sean Kokoska on there. I have people like Rick Jiha, Jay Kinder, Curtis Johnson. It's not me, Tina Cole, Rosie Rodriguez. Binge watch them. They're like 15, 20-minute sound bites of people. Watch the ones in Cabo we just did. They're all there. And binge watch a bunch of 15 and 20-minute talks from independent brokers, the stars at Coldwell, Remax, Keller Williams. They're all here. You'll the Perry Group from Utah, the #1 team at Keller Williams in Utah. They have 50 agents. They came out of nowhere in 4 years, and they are now at EXP. They just came over like 2, 3, 4, or 5 weeks ago. Everyone's like, oh, the Perry Group's at EXP, the Perry Group in Utah. Everyone knows them from Keller Williams. Nolly Williams, the short sale guy he's at EXP. Fred and Kevin Group 4610, they're at EXP. People are like, I didn't know. Well, they're not promoting it. And the stars at Remax, they're now gone. They're not at Remax. They're at EXP. And we're growing 1,000 agents a week. We used to have 1,200 agents in the whole company when I got going. And now we grow the size of the company every week. And I'm just telling you, we're going to have 1 million agents in 100 countries in the next 10 years. So it's going to be pretty exciting. But start with what you could see, do what you can do. But binge watch Brent Gove on YouTube. There's them, not me. Binge watch other people and learn about EXP if you want to binge watch something. Let's throw that out there.
Absolutely. And Brent, thank you for all those resources, and thank you for everything you're doing. I'll just share with you this also, because we all need people, I think, to inspire us, to believe it's possible, right? It's a tough life. It's not easy. Real estate isn't easy for that matter, unless you become a listing assassin. But even becoming a listing assassin isn't easy. It's a skill set. And a lot of people have to get uncomfortable to actually succeed. So, and that a lot of times is what prevents people from doing anything, right? They're like, oh, that's too hard, or I don't understand that. And it's just easier to go sell a house. But what feeds you? Where do you go? Because you're not probably listening to your own videos, I'm guessing, to get filled, right?
I hate watching myself on stage.
Right. Where do you? Who are the influence? I mean, you've mentioned several of them in the middle, but what are you doing in the beginning? But is there any, it's like a go-to for you?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think it's like, everyone have different faith. I'm a Christian, so I get fed by the Lord Jesus Christ. I mean, that's like feeds my soul, to answer that question.
Beautiful.
Some people are Jewish and agnostic and atheistic. I'm not putting my trip on you. He asked the question, I just answered it. I also learned business stuff from Tony Robbins. I like a lot of Tony Robbins stuff. I resisted him for like 25 years because he's tall and has big teeth, and I'm like, and he's like walking on fire. And I thought, I don't know, I'm out. But when I really started studying him, 98% of what he says is just pure gold. It's really good. And so sometimes they'll meditate, and it's kind of an Eastern thing, and that isn't my trip. So I'll leave the room. I just leave. So it's like a smorgasbord, take what you like, leave what you don't. It's like college. Some of those professors are so full of BS and you knew it. Other ones were really good. And so it's like college, and so, but, Grant Cardone, great guy, but his speakers at his events at those 10 are just like, psh. And so I'm always going to stuff, whether it's Brian Buffini, Mike Ferry, Craig Proctor, Grant Cardone, Mega Camp, Remax's annual convention, Women's Council of Realtors, CAR, NALREP. Remember Star Power, Howard Brenton, Star Power? I would fly to Howard Brenton events. I would go to NAEA events. I'm just like an event junkie. I was always learning. Be a student of life, be a student of real estate. So I would always make sure I'd get there a day earlier, stay late, play some golf, hang out by the pool, relax, and don't just work. But the cool thing about EXP is there's a beginning, a middle, and an end. I'll say this. You talked about goals earlier. Let me ask you a question. What is traditional retirement age? What it is?
Oh gosh, I think it's getting older.
But traditionally, what is it?
70 at this point.
We all know, but it was 65, right?
I mean, it's
Now
65.
but it traditionally has been 65. Now, if I asked you that question 300 years ago, what's the traditional retirement? What are you talking about retirement age? You either have money or you don't have it. It was made up by the Social Security Administration in the 30s when they created the Ponzi scheme of Social Security. Hey, you guys will take your money and we'll pay this group. That's the definition of a Ponzi scheme. It is it's a joke. Anyways, don't get me started, but they created that at 65, you get full benefits. At 62 and a half, you get partial. At 60, wait to 65 if you can. But really, it was created by the Social Security Administration during the Great Depression. You know when retirement is? It's when you have enough money and you own a business and you can actually maybe not work so hard. Like do you know that some people had that done by the time they were 20 or 22 or 23? But if you go get a job, yeah, you're going to have to work your off till you're 65, and then you're going to retire on $1,200 a month, Social Security, $1,800. So mine's $2,300 a month. You know what that'll be? Another 10, because if they're doing this, the Biden administration, Gavin Newsom in California, hyperinflation, devaluing the dollar, your Social Security is already getting wiped out, buddy. And so here's the deal. You can retire in the next 2, 3, 4 years. Here's why you won't. You don't have a goal to do it. You can't hit a goal you don't have. You're not even thinking about it, man. You're just thinking like, how do I sell 10 or 20? You're not even, the target of retiring in 2, 3, 4 years is not even, so therefore you can't hit a goal you don't have. So forget about retiring. I don't care if you're 20 years old, listeners, you can retire. I'm going to tell you right now, like I'm going to be like the Pope right now. I'm not Catholic, but I'm going to bless you. I'm going to bless you to retire. And I'm not making fun of the Catholics. That was probably inappropriate. I'm sorry. Anyway, so here's the deal. You can, I want to bless you though. That's good. So you can retire at 23 or 25 or 20. It doesn't mean you sit around and play golf every day. It just means that you have more money to give charities. You can do different things with your business, but you're not stuck like got to be there, because you either, you could be hard on yourself and life will be infinitely easier on you, or you can kind of treat yourself easy and make up excuses of why you didn't, why you couldn't, why you haven't. And pretty soon you're going to blow out of real estate and have to take a job. Someone will tell you, you need to show up here. You need to leave here. And no, you can't go home for your parents' 50th wedding anniversary. No, you can't take 3 weeks off and go to Europe for your silver anniversary, because you have a job and you get 2 weeks off a year and you've already maxed your off time. Sorry, you need to suck it up. You can't go to the zoo with your 10-year-old. You can't go to that beach thing with your 14-year-old in high school or whatever, because your daddy didn't suck it up. Mommy didn't suck it up and be hard on themselves And so if you will tell yourself what to do and stick with the program and not work off your feelings, not be like a thermometer going up and down with your environment, but be a thermostat, baby. You set that thing, you live by your calendar, and you come up with a plan and you execute. Execution trumps strategy every day of the week. Hope is not a strategy. You come up with a plan and you can do it. And I was able to create $100,000 a month revenue share within 17 months. Will everybody do that? Nope. But I have a lot of people I've already helped do that. I have people who make $250,000 a month. I have people who make 300,000 a month that I've helped do it. 100, that's child's play. But you think you can't even conceive of it because you're trapped in, I could barely get 2 or 3 listings a month. That's 20 or 30,000 a month. And I hire buyer's agents and they quit. They become my competition. And study EXP. My friend who knows nothing is going to do 1.8 billion. And you're a big star doing $250 million. He's going to do 1.8 billion. He doesn't know anything about it. Watch themodelexplain.com. Watch videos at brentgove.com. Binge watch the YouTube channel. Call Victor here. Victor, call Victor and reach out to him and ask him about the model. It'll change your life. And in order to make it, you have to change other people's life. You have to help other people. When I sold real estate, I helped myself. When I built a team, I helped myself. And I did help those 18 agents. But the impact you'll have at EXP is going to be globally. I'm in all 50 states today. I'm in every province of Canada. I'm in Alaska. I'm in 14 countries. The sun never sets on my business. And when you become cloud-based business like EXP, and you're like, what is he talking about? Watch themodelexplain.com, call Victor, and you'll get it.
And thanks for saying that, Brent. Absolutely right. And you've given a tremendous amount of resources today. I just wanted to share with you this. I'm not, like, generally speaking, an event guy. Like, it's not like my thing. I read a lot. I listen to a lot of things. I've studied Tony Robbins for years. He's one of the biggest influencers in my life, as well as God and my mother and my father, right? Every people that are influencers in our life. But you have become the most recent influencer in my life, and I'll share with you how. We've got an event coming up with Tony in Dallas coming up. I think is that August 17th to 19th.
Yes,
is that what we've got. And the thing that you inspired me to do in Cabo, which and even in terms of me getting out of my own way, there was something there that just clicked. I have 5 people coming to Cabo with me.
Phenomenal.
I wouldn't have even, I don't know. It just wasn't
coming to Dallas. 5 people coming to Dallas.
Sorry, not Cabo, right? Dallas. Thank you. Dallas, exactly. The August 17th to 15th. If you could just maybe share something, last golden nugget of how people could invite people. Where are we at there, and how can we help change lives?
Right. Well, I think major decisions are made at major events. When people go to an event like that, where there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, we had like 700 people show up to our Cabo mastermind during COVID-19 at the Hyatt Ziva in Cabo. You were there. First of all, what did you think of that event? Was it life-changing? Was it powerful? Was it amazing?
It was, I mean, it's almost indescribable. And what I most took, I mean, I took a lot away from it, believe me, but what I most took away is the culture, the energy that everybody has to help one another.
Yes.
It's not something you typically find in real estate anywhere. It's like so hyper competitive. And it's like, I remember talking to a guy named Pete Middleton, and all of a sudden he's like, dude, I'm not even in Brent's organization, but I'm here speaking. And I said, let me ask you why you're doing that, Pete, right? Because typically it's all about me, right? In real estate, generally speaking, and what I'm going to build and what I'm going to do and how much I can earn. And, here's my goals. I'm going to go accomplish it. I'm going to go crush it. Fantastic. Wonderful. Nothing wrong with that. But here's what he said to me that blew me away. Next to the pool, to your earlier point. And I just told him, I said, hey, brother, I appreciate everything you said up there. And he goes, Victor, I didn't even know what I was going to say. Brent called me and he was being funny. He goes, Brent called me yesterday and said, can you be here and talk? And he goes, I didn't even know how I was going to come across. And I said, you came across perfectly because you were you and you were authentic. And that's all of us can do. But here's what he said about why he would be willing to help me, willing to help the organization, willing to help anyone. He said that if we bring in all the best people the stock rises and we all win together. So we're not going after each other or trying to cannibalize the business. We're lifting each other up. It's the rising tide that lifts all boats.
Yeah.
And by the way, that's right on. That's the kind of company I want to be a part of.
Yes. By the way, Pete's in Southern California, and he was a multi-million-dollar listing star for Coldwell Banker, and they thought he'd lost his mind. Now Pete has 800 agents and broker sources in his real estate sales organization. And when it was just Pete at Coldwell Banker, I think he had 14 people, and now he's got 800. So, and within a few years, he'll have 8,000. And he's helping, he's coming from contribution. Like you said, he's not even in my organization. I asked him, he was like one of my last speakers. I gave him a week's notice. And I said, get down here. People need to hear your story. Wasn't he good? Wasn't he fantastic? And so all the speakers were, when you come to our events, you'll find we usually give people about 15 minutes on stage, maybe 20, but typically 15 minutes. So it moves very quickly all day long. It's not someone going for an hour, then the next person for an hour and a half and an hour. You're like, oh my God, is this ever going to get over? And our events are from 2 to 6. We leave you the mornings free to go golfing, the mornings free to go to the spa, mornings free to sleep in, have brunch, hit the pool. And then we start sharp, bright and early every morning at 2 in the afternoon, and we go till 6. We end at 6. We all go out to dinner. I mean, if we can't teach you what you need to know in 4 hours a day, I'm not going to bring you to some exotic location in Cabo or Maui or Florida and then stuff you in a convention center from 8 to 5 or 6 at night while the beaches of Miami beckon. You know, I want you to enjoy a beautiful, you know, we were in Scottsdale a few weeks later, we golfed and enjoyed swimming in the lazy river. And then we started event at 2 every day to 6. It was amazing. But so here's the deal. Back to your question, Dallas. So my first event, so here's a hidden nugget that people don't know. 2 things. The distinction, I watched the modelexplain.com with people. I was with them. So they weren't texting while they're one eye on the video, one eye texting, one eye on the video, one eye texting, or emailing, watching, emailing, doing a purchase agreement, doing a listing agreement, doing a, you know, no. I was with them. So guess what? They were like this. They paid attention. And I get a 78% success rate. People actually watch it with an open mind. 78% of them leave their brokerage and come to EXP. I mean, they just, there's no reason not to come. Usually they don't come because they're in a franchise agreement and they're trapped, or they took money from Coldwell Banker or Compass and they have 2 years left on their agreement, 3 years left on the agreement a year, and they're trapped. Anybody else, they pretty much come, or they just weren't being honest, or they have a bunch of stock or some special deal they don't want to give up, and they're just like, no, they don't want to listen. So the distinction is I watched it with them. The other thing I did is at my first EXP event, which is in San Diego, put on by EXP, there were 600 people there. It was at the Marriott on Coronado Island off the coast of San Diego. I brought 19 to my first event. So I'm going to challenge you, Victor, in front of everybody.
Yep.
5 is good, but you need to up your game. You got 9 weeks to find 14 more. I want you to have 19 in Dallas. I brought 19 to my first event. Then my group saw what I did. There's a great saying, your accent speaks so loud, I can hardly hear what you're saying. Your kid watch mom and dad, right? The teenagers. And so my kid did my group did what I did, and I ended up bringing 90. So I brought 19, and that I think I'd sponsored 15 of them, brought them. If I had to buy an airline ticket, if I had to pay for half their room each night, if I had to give them roommates, if I had to buy a registration ticket, I think I reserved 25 rooms for my first event. I made sure I had rooms for my people. We don't have rooms. Well, they should have got a room. No, you should have got a room. I'm not talking to you, Victor. I'm talking to her. You know, I'm trying to explain how this works. And I brought 90 people. I used all 25 rooms. Don't you dare book 25 rooms and then show up with 1 and cancel 24 rooms. That's irresponsible. But the point is, I bought tickets. I bought 10, 15 extra tickets. So I had to have tickets. We're going to sell out here real quick. So I brought 19 frontline. I think 59 sponsored. I had about 4 guests. So I brought 19. And then they brought people who brought people. I showed up with 90. And I'm telling you right now, Victor, I'm still riding that momentum today, 4 years later. Literally, I'll ride that momentum for the rest of my life. What I did in that 6-month period, and you have 9 weeks left to do it. Everybody watching this has 9 weeks left. If Tony Robbins is finding the time in his schedule to be there, and he's our speaker the 3rd day, it's all Tony Robbins. He's actually, I paid him $350,000 to talk for 3 hours for $350,000. This is pricey, but it's 2 to 5 for 3 hours. Tony Robbins, 2 to 5. Now I paid an extra $15,000 to the staff to stay till midnight in case Tony gets fired up because he hasn't been in front of a live group because of the plague, which is over. I mean, it's just darn near over. We all know it's wrapping up and gone. See ya. COVID-19. And so it may be the first time he's been in front of 6,000 people since the plague, since COVID-19. And I'm telling you what, he's got a habit for going over. And I think since he's going to be like a caged animal. We're unleashing the beast, and he's going to rip the cover off the ball, as they say. And he may go till 6, 7, 8, 9 that evening. So if you do fly in, don't fly out Friday evening, or Thursday evening, the 9th, Thursday, the 19th. Don't fly out Thursday night, fly out Friday. Because if he gets going, he may go till midnight. I actually paid all the union staff wages, an extra 15 grand just to sit around and watch in case Tony wants to go an extra hour or two. I already paid them to just sit there, and I can't wait to see what he's going to do, but it's going to be life-changing. Those events do the heavy lifting. It takes that 12-inch drop from people's head to their heart. They connect with other people. When I went to San Antonio as a Keller Williams agent, I connected with people. I go, these people are cool at EXP. I like them. I met Glenn Sanford. I met Jason Gessing, our CEO. I met Dave Kennard, the president. I met people like Michael Valdez, the president of Glover, and James Hahn, the president of commercial, and brokers and agents. And I asked, and I went from knowing I should do it to believing here. And I came back and enrolled those 25 people in 5 months. I would not have done that. I would not have shown up with 19 in my front line and 90 in my group had I not been to an event myself and kind of fell in love with EXP and it gotten here. And I could communicate that with passion and conviction. And I was able to convince 19 people to get on a plane and go to San Diego and attend that event. So we picked Dallas because it's in the middle of the nation. It's easy to get to. Dallas is a major hub. We're at the Gaylord Resort. It's like Disneyland. It's got an Astrodome over it. It is August. It's humid, but we have our own environment. There's like 4 or 5 restaurants in there, waterfalls, holds thousands. The place is incredible. The spa, the pool, you need a vacation, want to get away, come. But fly in the morning of the 17th, because we don't start till 2. You can come in that morning or come in the 16th, come in the day before and just rest, take a breath. And then do the 17th, 18th, 19th, and then don't leave Thursday night, the 19th, fly out Friday. Do Friday afternoon, sleep in, have brunch, treat yourself. Don't work so hard. You guys are working yourself to the bone. And this will blow your mind. I tell people, if you don't love it, I'll pay for your airline tickets. I'll reimburse your hotel rooms. What do I have to do? Do I have to buy you an airline ticket? What do I got to do to get you there? And so I would work really hard to get people there. But this business belongs to the promoters, the people who know how to promote events, because the bounce you get off that event, I'm still riding the wave 4 years later. So I hope that helped.
Tremendous amount. I mean, this has been amazing. And I know I know we're over time, Brent, and I know that you've got a very busy schedule like everyone else, but I just want to share with you this, that I think going to the event, guys, just personally speaking, going to the event is a life-changing experience. And this is from a guy that's not an event guy. So I want to be clear on that too. I'm not, but now I'm an event guy. So I'm from not being an event guy to being an event guy. And now I'm saying, here's how you go change your life. Here's how you leverage all of the talent. Stand on the shoulders of the giants that are helping you, that are willing to pull you up. Stand up and go change your life and get to Dallas.
There's me at my first event in San Antonio. I'm a Keller Williams agent and ex-team leader. And I'm there checking out EXP, just all the seats about. And here's a funny thing. Can I show you one more thing? Yeah. If you go, I met this guy when I was there. That's in the lobby. That's Glenn Sanford. I'm a Keller Williams agent. It's my first event 4.5 years ago. And I go, can I get a selfie with you? And of course, that was like the 3rd day and I'd fallen in love with EXP, but you're going to meet people. And that's how I grew Keller Williams as a team leader. I'd put on business planning clinics. People would come from Century 21 Remax. They'd fall in love with the people and they'd be so impressed with the training. Same thing at EXP, except you own the company and get paid a lot of revenue share in addition to your commissions. At all of the real estate companies, you pretty much just get commissions. There is no stock, there is no revenue share. Keller Williams says profit share. I told 55 people it was $700 a month. Yes, some people make more, but right now it's going down and out because they're lowering caps, ripping the profit out of these things. Victor, thanks for having me on today. Hopefully I didn't talk too much. I had a couple of cups of Puerto Rican coffee. I'm out here in the Caribbean. Love living out here. I never thought I'd live out here, but loving it. It's a good place to be. Tired of California. Love California, but the politics and all the craziness, See ya. Taxes. It's crazy.
Brent, thank you for everything. This is recorded, so all of the resources will be on Facebook. So when you come back to Impact Worldwide, you'll be able to find the recording, find the resources. I'm sure everybody took notes. But Brent, thank you for your time. This was absolutely amazing. Thank you.
Awesome. Send me a copy if you can. Email me a copy.
Sure, we absolutely will.
Bye, everybody. See you in Dallas. Don't miss
Bye-bye.
Dallas. Victor, bring 19, 14, 15 more. Do it.
I need 10 more tickets. I got it.
Do it. All right.
I'll buy them and I'll get it done. Thank you, Brent. Thanks so
Bye,
much.
everybody. Love you. Bye-bye.
You too. Heart out to you.